Morning everybody, bright and early for a Thursday. Hopefully he hasn't got me there. Let's see if this will work. Alright, just going to reverse out, don't mind me. Hope everyone's having a good day so far. Got a little bit to talk about, and it's one of my longer trips this morning, so I'm just going to listen out for some cars. Give me one moment here. It's good when it's early morning, you can see headlights coming. This guy's going to have to wait. Okay, sorry about that. Alright, so today, I've got to keep this on. Today, it's only getting to 16 degrees. It's going to be fresh. There's a chance of rain. Not rain, showers I should say. And it's, like I said, the longest route that I've got. Probably a bad choice of words. Longest day that I travel. It's back down the coast a bit, but I make it worthwhile. I've mentioned it before. It's one of my most profitable days, and the reason for that is route density down there. I've got down pat in an order, in a system that's just bang 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 all day long, and with that comes profitability. And because I am traveling further, it means I've got to charge a little bit more for my travel. That goes for anyone and everything that is outside of my service radius. So if you don't know what that is, Keith Kelfus, Brian's Law Maintenance, everyone like that I follow on YouTube, I've been listening to that for years, and it's always been a definite goal from the start for mine, and that's a major reason why the business has been so successful so quickly. It is a huge player in getting as much profitability throughout the day without as much work. It's a thing that I've noticed with a lot of people. They tend to burn out, get over it. You watch it either on YouTube or you see it, and you see the business around you. When you've got people that are in your local area, you know your competition. And they simply burn out. They do a rougher job, or they take shortcuts, and it's simply because they're buggered. They've lost the drive and the motivation, because it becomes a chore for them. Whereas for myself, there's been days when, yes, you're like, oh, how the hell am I going to be able to fit all this in today? How am I going to do this? But you do, and you do get it done before 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock at the latest, things like that. On them really massive days, if I ever got to do a 10-hour day, I make sure I definitely charge for it, because I want to touch on that as well, because set yourself a time limit, set yourself that goal. That'll make you more productive. Like the first thing it's going to do is it gives you something to work towards straight away, and you've just got to give yourself all these small goals to reach your big goal. I'll just flip this on. That might help you see me if you can't. And I just got pawpaw cream on today too, just to let you know. It's getting windy. Always helps with them cracked lips. But anyway, I've got a little bit of talking in here to do, but it's just amazing how far you can push it with your regular lawns especially. But no matter what you're doing in business, if you've got regular clientele, have it so it is just a flow-on effect. Have it so it's so much quicker and easier to go from one job. I like to start, you don't have to do it this way, but I like to start the furthest point away and work my way back towards home, so that way each step I'm getting closer to home, and then that last job is the closest job I have to home. So whether it's lawns, whether it's a big job, whatever it may be, I make the closest one to home the last for the day, where possible. Sometimes you've got to work in with clients when you've got mulching jobs and things like that. And if they're a new client, some people like you to be there just to meet them and make sure you're legitimate, and that's fine. But yeah, there's so many things to discuss about this. And as far as when you do get a new client, and I've got one today down this other end of the coast, and same deal, I stock these days when I'm going down here, like they're a massive day, but that's the reason why you've got to do it. You're travelling, it's an hour just about to travel, hour there, hour back. So if I do half the amount of work down there, I'm earning the same as what I would on a full day nearly up here. And that's not saying I'm ripping anyone off down here. It's simply I've got to account for petrol here and there. Lawns and stuff, that might only be $10 dearer down here. It's larger works like the full-on yard maintenance type works and things like that, gutter cleaning, and then a lot of that stuff's regular, and it's got to be like hedge trimming and things like that. So hopefully you still got me there, it's not bouncing around too much. And yeah, so you've just got to factor all that in, know your prices. And again, talking about that, like watching a massive life-changing video that Keith Kalfas did with Brian, his lawn entrepreneurship little seminar he did, I think it was a year ago now. It was the first time I actually seen this video, and everything he was touching on was everything that I've sort of learned over my time in business, like I said, with big business that I used to work for, as well as through YouTube, as well as through meeting people, especially when I've got clients now that were once in business, or still are, or have investments. There's so many people that I'm just like a sponge with everyone. I take on as much as I can, information, and anything that doesn't really apply to me, like I've said in my videos for you guys, just forget whatever you don't need to know, and from there everything I can give you, it's just another avenue. There's so many people, I'll keep dropping names because the Lawn Care Nut has been massive, Lawn Tips Australia has been recent, and again, nothing new for me with him besides the reel mower. And by real I don't mean like real life, I mean REEL. It's a cylinder type mower, and yeah, it's something that I don't do. I don't typically mow short, so there's a few different extra steps you've got to take when you are mowing short. I already knew that. It's the reason why I mow high. But it's good to see a different perspective, and it's good to see the science behind it. They've got a lot more in-depth videos. Ryan Knorr is very similar to that as well. And so when you combine all this knowledge, all this love for lawns and yard maintenance, as well as the handyman for business scope of works, how to do certain jobs and things like that, he's been massive. Couldn't actually tell you his name, I just know him as the handyman, but if you search the handyman on YouTube, he'll come up. He'll be probably the first thing to come up, and he's got 2 pages. He's got 3 pages. I still haven't found his 3rd. It's a surprise. He just wants that to sort of do its own thing without plugging it on his bigger channels, because he's into the 100,000 subscribe mark, and he's in America, but same deal. He's grown that over sort of 8 years, possibly it's been now. So there's so many people to learn from, is what I'm trying to get at. And there's a lot of things that I don't know and I'm still learning myself. There will always be something that I don't know. There's always something to learn. So I'm just going through a real windy section, and I've got a lot of cars behind me, so I'll leave that there. I'll talk to you later on. And if I hadn't touched on it, when I've got this new lawn down here, a lot of the time it's overgrown, like I said in previous videos. You need to make sure that you're charging for that, whether it's double the price, because sometimes it takes 3 times as long to get that same land down as it does on that regular visit, if you know what I mean. So a regular visit might only take you half an hour to do that lawn, but it might be easily 1.5 hours. close to 2 hours by the time you're done weed spraying and all the rest, tidying it up, having a chat to the new client, things like that. So that's a massive chunk out of your day, and you've got to account for that, because in that time you could have got 3 other lawns that were regular, and then that's the biggest goal, is the regular clientele for me. Because for me, small fish, like it's no disrespect to any clients, it's just a term in business. So like small fish, large fish, I've got more small, and it's more regular, more consistent. And the large ones I do have, if they were to drop off, it's not the end of the world, because I've got so many small jobs that then have larger jobs like hedge trimming and yard maintenance and tree pruning and etc, etc. The list goes on. So plenty to discuss, and when you see today's video, if I can get that sorted, if this new client lets me, because it's going to be overgrown, it's going to be a nice video to show. We'll get some footage of that. And as you can tell, I'm on a rally track at the moment. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks again. I'll talk to you when I'm doing the lawn. And yeah, see you all later. Enjoy your day. Thanks guys. Bye-bye. Bye. Alright, that'll do now. Sorry guys, I was just driving down the highway and thought I'd better give you some how-to. Sorry if you're seeing up my nose too at the moment. How to get your root density down pat. I'll just check this is recording. Yeah, beautiful. Alright, so with your root density, for me, what's worked is Facebook groups is a huge one. I'll get more into that, about advertising and how to do that, and really it's just being authentic and genuine, and people, they either like you or they don't. It's as simple as that. People resonate with the post, people understand what the message is coming across, like loud and clear. You can use it as a marketing tool, or you can use it as simply saying thank you to your client, or help advertise for businesses that you're working for. There's so many different avenues you can take that. So yeah, groups is a massive one on Facebook there, for us anyway. You've got letterbox drops in all the like areas. If you're finding you're getting a cluster of people, which by chance I actually have a lot through the groups. I've just had people contact and they just so happen to be in the same area, so a bit of blind luck there. But on top of that, I was dropping flyers and gained a few extra on top of who came through on the groups, which then took up certain areas to sort of 5 lawns in that one little area, so a nice little patch of lawns in some areas, which is what you want. I've got neighbours that are across the road, side by side, like they're massive, they're huge. If you can get that, that's an awesome way of doing it. What else is there? Okay, when you're doing your business cards and you're dropping them off to local shops, make sure it is local shops, don't go too far out of your way. Have clear boundaries for yourself, so you know, alright, that's as far as I want to travel. If I do go outside, you make sure you're going to charge a bit more to travel that further, that much further. So that's other ways you can sort of make it work in other areas, like I'm doing today down here. It's a huge payday, but it's because I make it that way. You've got to, when you're traveling an hour down and an hour back, it's just too much wear and tear, especially carting a trailer. And it's a lot of time. Like, there's 2 hours, that's potentially 4 to 6 lawns, depending, that I could easily get done on my own. And you start doing the figures there, and that's 300 plus, easy. So in this travelling time, I need to account for $300. It's as simple as that. So the day ends up being, like I said, it's half the work down here just about, as a full day as I'll get up home, but it's nearly, it's more profitable payday, if you know what I'm saying, or it can be. Some days people aren't needing it done, especially leading into winter now, but when it's peak season, definitely. And you just stock them days, and when I have another pair of hands with me full time, then this would be a huge day down here, like just to to cover the costs for not only the travel but your extra worker. So yeah, just touching on route density again, there's a lot of things I could discuss about it, but just get in the habit of dropping, like if you go to a new client, drop 10 business cards or flyers in that area just after doing that new client. That's a good little tip. And give the client maybe a handful of cards to say, oh, if you know anybody like in the area, or like a lot of them talk to their neighbours, a lot of them do like having a sense of community spirit still, so doing that neighbourly thing, and they'll talk to someone in that area, and then you might have another lead. So there's plenty of ways to do it, but really you need to know your boundaries, and then that way you know where your route density wants to be. And for me, like, it might be 20 kilometres away some jobs, but it only takes me 20 minutes to get there. So if I'm leaving early enough in the morning, I'm still there at 7 o'clock, and away you go. If you finish, say, at 3 o'clock that day, and it takes you that 20 minutes to get back home, you're still home by 3:30, it's no big deal. And you've still had a massive day. So yeah, for me, it's still, like I said, learning and growing, and I can only push it so far in the small town that I'm actually in, so I do have to venture out a little bit. But in saying that, you look after your local clientele as well. Don't think you're going to be able to charge what you do when you're travelling, because people do understand when you've got to travel, and if they want quality, they're going to pay for it. Because obviously there's plenty of competition down here where I'm going, but for whatever reason, well, there's a lot of reasons, but they prefer, and a lot of people have got in contact, said, look, I'm just over everyone down here stuffing me around, can you come and do mine? Like, I know you got to travel, but that's fine, and they understand. So that's a real humbling experience to go through, as well as a good pat on the back for doing such a great job, and people actually see that resonate through the posts you're doing, through YouTube, through everything else. So yeah, plenty of ways, guys, and yeah, I won't talk any longer because we might get some footage today, hopefully. Let's go. See ya. Okay guys, once again, hopefully you got me there. Now, what a mission. It's good to show you guys. This is usually what occurs. Sorry, don't listen, copyright issues. This is usually what happens when it's a new client. It's been sort of overgrown, let grow for a month or two, this particular one, but some of them are sort of 6 months or more, and it starts to eat into your time. So that's where, just got to remember there's some bins behind me. That's where that extra bit of money comes in. Quite a street, busy when I want to leave. So you got to factor all that in, guys, and obviously the parts of the video that I could show you was predominantly at the backyard because the front wasn't as bad, but even still the edges needed doing. And on that first visit, you can offer the service to get the proper edges in line if you wanted to add extra to the cost, but to keep costs down. Today I just hit across the top, got it all down. It's all couch, majority of that lawn, bit of kiking amongst it. But with that, it means the edges next time won't be too bad to hit, especially being couch. And this time of year, it's going to slow right down. And so with that, I want to make mention of the cost factor when you're doing it for the quote. Like I said, most of them are double. So that particular size lawn, $66 for a regular visit. And then for that initial hit, it was sort of that 120 mark, just to get the bulk of it down. So you can see straight away, it was, what is it, it's 11 o'clock, I was there at 9:30, 22 maybe. I'll be able to check the footage and see exactly, but at least an hour and 15 was what it was, because the camera work takes a little bit of time as well, so you sort of get rid of that when you're doing this type stuff. If you had no camera there, you know exactly what your times are, and you can guarantee that lawn will be done in a little over half an hour, that big mower, once it's a regular occurrence, and definitely when there's two of you. So it's just, you take the hit on the initial one, you get a little bit of money for your troubles on top of it, and then you go forward and it becomes a good little money maker. And it's saying that you're working hard to do it, and you got the gear to make it productive. If you had a little push mower, then it wouldn't be a money maker. That's the idea of upgrading your equipment, and that's the idea of this channel, guys, is to help you guys a lot quicker than sort of I got mine up off the ground doing the same thing, watching YouTube videos, understanding the methods and practices that are required to just become as efficient and productive as you can. And that's what it all comes down to. You want to be fast, you want to be quick, you want to be neat, you want to be quality, and that's how you build a good reputation. So this person on the roundabout wanting to take up 2 lanes. Nope, coming over there. And yeah, that's pretty much the video today, guys, so thank you once again. I'll see if I have to talk about anything more. If I think of anything, I'll add it quickly, but I think that's about it. It's just, yeah, concentrate on them edges, just get them down. It's going to take long enough just to get things down, and then concentrate after that to get the nice crisp look, unless the client wants to pay for it there and then. That's sort of what you got to do. So alright, have a wonderful evening, night, day, whenever you're watching this, and I'll thank you once again. See you guys, bye.